Hi, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing 8 things men notice about your body that have nothing to do with how it looks. I want you to think about the last time you got ready for a date you were excited about. Not necessarily what you wore, but what you calculated. Which side of the table you wanted to sit on, the one with your good side. Whether the light in that restaurant was going to be kind to you. Whether you'd be allowed to put that cardigan back on, right? To hide something you maybe were a little self-conscious about. Ladies, some of you ran a full 2 hours of math before you ever sat down. And I have spent years with clients having this exact conversation. And I need to tell you something that might be a little hard to believe, but it is true. But when a man who is interested in you goes on a date with you, most of what he registers about your body isn't visual. Because when men talk to each other honestly about the woman that they love, those long conversations with no filter and nothing off limits, what almost never comes up is the parts of her body that he likes the most, right? It's not the shape of it. It's not the size of it. It's not the age of it. That's not what men are talking about when we talk about you. And I know that sounds like something that a man might say just to be nice, but it isn't. Because what it actually means is that you have been spending an enormous amount of energy in completely the wrong place. So today I want to share with you 8 things a man is genuinely noticing about your body when you are with him. And I promise you this, not one of them is the thing you've been standing in front of the mirror trying to fix. I'm Matt Shaffer, and I've spent the last 10 years helping women understand what's really going on inside the male mind and heart. If you're new, be sure to hit that little subscribe button, and you're definitely going to want to click that link down in the pinned comment and up at the top of this video and take my free 2-minute quiz. It's going to show you exactly how the man in your life is experiencing you. It's honestly a little scary how accurate it is. And now without further ado, let's dive into the video, but be sure to stay with me all the way to number 8. That's the one that's going to sit in your chest for a couple days. You'll see. And the first thing he's noticing is whether your body is braced or settled. And this is the one that everything else sits on top of. Here's what I mean. A man walks into a room with you, and before either of you says a word, his nervous system has already taken a reading. Are you holding something? Are you gripping, right? Is there this low hum of tension running through you that you're not even aware of anymore? And here's the thing, ladies. He can't tell you how he knows. He doesn't even know why he knows. He just knows. It's in your jaw. It's how you're standing. It's the fact that maybe you haven't quite exhaled since you walked in. Maybe you're carrying the tension of your day in with you. And why this matters to him is that a man legitimately co-regulates off the woman that he is with. That is not poetry. That's physiology. And if you're braced, he braces. He doesn't know what he's bracing for, which honestly makes it worse because now he's on alert and he can't find a threat. But a woman who's settled, oh, it is so sexy. He's gonna immediately drop about 4 inches into his own body and relax. And most men have not felt that way in a very long time. This was actually one of the first things that I loved when I started dating my wife, is that she just was so settled and grounded and relaxed when we would spend time together that I would feel myself like yawning and just like relaxing in ways that I didn't even understand what was happening, but it was literally my nervous system de-escalating in the presence of her peace. So my takeaway for you here is, before you walk in to connect with him, just take a full deep breath and drop into your body. Not for him, for you. He's going to appreciate it either way. And the second thing he's noticing is a lot more literal than you'd expect. It's your temperature, specifically how warm you are. And I got to tell on myself here because I am exhibit A. I run hot, genuinely unreasonably hot, and I keep this house at a temperature my wife has publicly described as unnecessary. And at night, it's even worse. I physically cannot sleep unless that room is 65 degrees cold. And speaking of cold, Ashley, my beautiful wife, she's cold a lot, especially in this house. She got cold hands every season, no exception. So you can imagine that negotiations around temperature happen in our home on a daily basis. But ladies, here's the thing I actually want you to hear. That's not a conflict in my marriage. That's one of my favorite things about being married to her, because I get to be her heater. She always wants to have her body on my body. She puts those freezing hands on me a lot. She doesn't ask. She doesn't apologize. She just assumes I'm hers to warm her up, and I get to do the one thing that apparently my body is built for. And why this matters to him is that men bond through what we get to give, not from what we receive, but what we're allowed to give. And your being cold hands a man something small and physical and completely unearned to be useful for. He didn't have to be asked. He just gets to be the warm one, and he gets to get touched in the process. So it's a double win for him. So my takeaway for you here is stop apologizing for your cold hands, my dear. Put them on him. You're not being a bother. You're handing him a job he's been quietly hoping for. It is very easy for him to fulfill. Give it a shot and let me know in the comments how he reacts. And the third thing he's noticing is how you move when you think nobody's watching. Because you have two bodies, ladies. You have the one you're driving when you know eyes are on you, and then you have the one that comes out when you're reaching for something on a high shelf, or you're walking back from the kitchen, or you're stretching at the end of that long day and you've forgotten to arrange yourself. And I want you to hear this clearly. The second one is the one he's most attracted to. And why this matters to him is that the arranged version is beautiful, but it's closed, right? It's a little performative. There's nothing for him to discover in it because it was built to be looked at. But that unarranged raw one, that's the true you. That's the only real information that he's getting. And here's what almost no woman knows. Men will absolutely stop what they're doing to watch a woman who has forgotten that she's being watched. That sounds creepy, but I promise it's not. It's not about the movement. It's that for about 4 seconds, he got to see something that wasn't for anybody. It was her true expression. So my takeaway for you here is this. You don't have to perform being relaxed. Just take one more second before you rearrange yourself. He's not looking for the pose. He's looking for that beautiful, sexy, authentic gap between poses. And the fourth thing he's noticing is one that's going to make some of you a little uncomfortable, and it's whether you close the last inch. Because there's a gap that men notice, ladies, in that hug that ends about an inch too early, in the way that you sit next to him on a couch with the hands with the space that neither of you ever mentions, in the kiss where your body arrives, but your full weight doesn't. And here's what's wild. Most women have no idea they're doing this because it's not a conscious decision. It's a very old habit of keeping one small door open in case you need it to get out of there. And why this matters to him is that a man feels that inch as an answer. He's not offended. He's not going to bring it up. And honestly, he'd struggle to name it. But some part of him files it as she's not all the way here. She's kind of looking for a way out potentially. And then he holds back an inch on his own. Now you've got two people an inch apart, wondering why it feels so far. So my takeaway for you here is the next time you hug him, stay about 2 seconds past the point where you normally let go. That's it. That's the whole assignment. And watch what he does, because I promise you, he will feel it before you finish doing it. And the fifth thing he's noticing is your actual weight pressed against him. And this is my favorite one on the list. And I got to get personal about it for a second, because this is the moment I knew that I had met my wife. It wasn't a big night. It wasn't a trip or a dinner or anything you put in a photo album. It was just a random Tuesday. We were on the couch and Ashley put her head on my chest and just let herself be heavy against me. She wasn't perched like a little bird. She wasn't politely resting. She just let go of the weight and just let it be on me. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, she's not managing anything right now. She's not holding anything back. And something in me went quiet and still. And I just knew that she was my person. Why this matters to him is that a woman holding a fraction of her own weight back is doing it so she's not a burden. And I understand that instinct completely. And I need you to know it lands backwards, because carrying you is not a cost to him. Please hear me with that. It is the closest thing to being told you're safe that he's going to get all week. It shows that you trust him. So my takeaway for you here is the next time you lean on him, actually lean. Let him take it. That is not you being too much, my dear. That's you finally letting him do the thing he's been waiting to do all along. And the sixth thing he's noticing, and this is the one that actually surprises everybody, and I love it, is whether you can be still with him. Now I know what you're expecting me to say here. You're expecting me to say, be engaging, be fun, keep the energy up, right? Nope. Actually, quite the opposite, because a lot of women unconsciously treat a quiet moment as a problem that they're responsible for solving, right? That silence lands and something in you goes, oh no, we can't have that, right? And then you reach for something, right? A question, a joke, your phone, anything to fill it. And here's what he's experiencing on the other side of that. A man reads a woman who can't sit in silence with him as a man who isn't comfortable with him, because comfort doesn't need a soundtrack. And this matters to him because a man's whole day is noise. Solve this, answer that, perform here, right? And a woman who can just exist next to him, doing nothing, needing nothing filled, it's honestly not boring to him, ladies, and definitely not to me. It's the most restful thing on earth, and he'll drive across town for it, because what turns him on by you more than anything else is the peace that you bring into his life. So my takeaway for you, ladies, here is this. The next time a silence shows up, just let it. Count to 10 before you fill it, right? Most of the time, he wasn't uncomfortable at all. He was enjoying the peace in the moment. And the seventh thing about your body he's noticing is what it does in the half second after he compliments you. And ladies, I want you to be honest with yourself for a second. When he says, you look beautiful, what happens? Maybe there's that little laugh, there's the look away, the hand that goes up to your hair, the dismissive, oh, in this old thing, or maybe the immediate pivot and the deflect. Well, you look nice too. Or that tiny flinch that you swear nobody could see. Well, guess what? He sees it. He notices all this stuff every single time. And here's what he doesn't tell you. He stops believing you're going to let him love you out loud, because he didn't experience that as modesty. He experienced it as a returned gift. He handed you something true, and he watched your whole body decline it and reject it. And a man will keep doing that maybe 5, 6, or 10 times, and then quietly he's just going to stop. Not because he stopped thinking of it, but because he got tired of watching it bounce off you. It really feels like a rejection to him. And I've experienced this myself, and it's actually pretty painful. And I've had grown men sit across from me and tell me this, that they literally gave up, that they stopped complimenting their wives out loud, not out of coldness, but just out of exhaustion. So my takeaway for you here is this, and it's the whole point. The next time he says something kind, don't fix it, don't return it, don't shrink it, don't dismiss it. Just look at him and say, thank you. Receive it with that beautiful, warm, feminine energy and watch what it does to him. That man has been waiting a long time for you to keep the present he tried to give you. And now it's time for number 8, the one I promised would sit in your chest. And that's whether you let him look at you. Not whether you look good, whether you let him look. Because there's a thing that happens when a man's eyes land on a woman he loves, and she moves, she adjusts, she reaches for the white switch, right? She pulls something across herself, she turns a couple degrees to that angle she's decided is the acceptable one, right? Her blue steel. And that decision was made years ago by a much younger woman, and nobody's revisited it since. And here's what I need you to understand from inside the male heart. When he looks at you like that, he's not conducting an inspection, ladies. He's not comparing. Men are not doing math in that moment. We're not capable of it in that moment. He's just looking at you. And it's one of the few genuinely uncomplicated pleasures a man gets in this life. These are honestly some of my favorite moments with my wife, especially when she doesn't even know that I'm looking at her, right? And then I'll just be appreciating her and how beautiful she is from afar. And then all of a sudden she'll turn and she'll get all surprised. And then she'll be like, oh, and she'll start to fidget with herself. And I'm just going to be, sweetie, just let me appreciate you. That's all I'm doing. And she'll like blush. And then I feel her relax and drop into her body and receive my attention and my love. It's always a really beautiful moment. But when you manage what he sees, right? When you edit, when you angle, when you dim the light, when you pull something over yourself, what he receives isn't modesty. He receives that I'm not allowed all the way in. And ladies, remember all that math from the beginning of this video? The side of the table, the lighting, the cardigan, the 2 hours, whatever. That was never about your body. That was about you deciding hours before you walked out the door how much of yourself you were going to allow to be seen. And that decision is the thing he feels. It's the only thing he ever actually feels. And when you manage what he sees, when you edit, when you angle, when you dim the light, what he receives isn't modesty. He receives, I'm not allowed all the way in. So my takeaway for you here is this. You don't have to feel beautiful to let him in. You just have to hold still and receive it, right? Being seen isn't a reward you earn once your body cooperates. It's the whole thing. It's what he came for. So let's gather up all 8 of these things he notices about your body, right? Whether you're braced or settled, how warm you are, how you move when nobody's watching, that last inch when you're touching him or hugging him or kissing him, your weight being pressed against him or not, whether you can be still with him, what you do when he says something kind with your body, and whether you let him look at you or you try to adjust. And ladies, notice what is not on that list. Your stomach isn't on it. Your arms aren't on it. Your weight, your age, the thing you've been quietly at war with since you were 19, none of it made the list. Not one. Because he was never reading your body for its shape. He was reading it for whether you were actually in the room with him and whether you were at peace within yourself. That's it. That's what all 8 of these are. You were never hiding your body from him, my dear. You were hiding you. And that's the only thing he ever noticed was missing. Now, if you want to go a layer deeper into how the specific man in your life experiences you, take my free 2-minute quiz. The link's down in the pinned comment and up at the top of this video. You can hop onto that right after this one. It shows women things about their own patterns that genuinely catch a lot of them off guard. And be sure to hit that little subscribe button and let me know down in the comments, which of these 8 did you recognize immediately or made you feel personally attacked? I read every single comment and I got a strong feeling number 7 is about to start some conversations or even spirited debates down there. And friendly reminder, be nice to each other. And be sure to stay tuned to this next video where I'm going to be sharing 10 things men love about your body that you probably don't. I promise it is really going to help you and you're really going to enjoy it. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Now, the first thing men love about your body that you're probably a little insecure about is your stomach, right? I know you wish it was flatter. You suck it in when he's around. You avoid certain positions because you're self-conscious about